Greetings, my name is Nathan Allen Pinard, and I'm here working on Evergreen. And we are at a point where we aren't going to be tracking or performing, but we're going to be nitpicking and switching articulations, kind of like how we did last time with the low brass. So, what we have here is the trumpet 1 part with CineBrass for trumpet. And just to remind you, CineBrass is right here. And with the settings, we have mapping to be the sustain pedal, hold down for legato, leave it up for staccato. We also have different shorts based on velocity, and what that'll do is it'll allow us to lengthen staccato versus like really short staccato. And then staccato overlay is off, and the other stuff we just leave on by default. The mixer we're leaving on the Dennis Sands, which is default, but later on we'll toy around with, actually we probably won't use any of these presets, and we'll probably play around with EQ as well. So that's CineBrass, and we have Bravura, with a U, sorry, totally messed that one up. We have a little more, in some ways, better tweaking. The thing with Bravura is you can change the staccato. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Okay, took me just a second there to figure this out, but basically you see the C next here. It means you hold control and click. And that gives you the offset, which is the time in which the staccato is played. Sometimes you can move it just a little bit if you want sort of a slightly draggy staccato. It really depends on what you're doing and what articulation you're using. Then you have the decay, which is pretty important because you can actually shorten the staccato to be pretty tight. And there are very few trumpet libraries that seem to allow you to do this. And a lot of the default staccato within a brass library generally is a little too long for my taste. Just depends, what you're doing. So we have that. And you can do that with sustains. You got the volume, the start velocity, then there's an accent, and the scale. That one I'm not sure of. I'll have to look at. And then tenuto, same deal. Legato. They have normal and smart legato, which is obviously based on how fast you're switching notes and such. We'll leave that on normal for now. See, there's the speed, and then there's the volume. Although, actually, no, let's just do smart. And then you can also do accents and scale or fixed. Okay, I'll have to look at what that is later, but I have a feeling I'm not going to need it. Then you have all the multi-tongues, falls, rips, trills. Mikado, same deal. So that's pretty helpful. So what we're doing, we're not messing around with Bravura yet. We're doing Cine Trumpet, and there's less, at least there seems to be, less configuration as far as the shortness of the staccato, decay, and all that. Unless you probably go right into the editor, but I'm not going there. So what we got here, right? So this is what it sounds like just out of the box. So what we're going to have to mess around with first is to figure out, let's see, is this the breath control? This doesn't seem like it would be, but let's see. No, that's sustain. Okay. So what we got to do first is, leave that, dummy 1, 8, 11. What that is port 1, channel 8, CC 1/8. Okay, sorry. One 8 11, which is CC 11. That should be the correct controller. I can't remember. It sometimes differs between brass libraries. So let's just do full for now. Yeah, that's what that is. Okay. So that's all staccato. What we got to do is play around with the sustain. Okay. So first let's stretch this out far enough so we can actually draw the sustains. By the way, I believe... No, it doesn't look like you can rename that. It'd be nice if you could. If I do add, can I rename it in here? Nope. Well, we know. Da, 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 da. So there's, with CineBrass, there's just two things. Sustain and staccato. And with sustain down, and let's see, this is going to be a little, it's a little tedious, but it's absolutely worth it. It really shines in the top notes. Big time. This is tricky. Do you staccato this or do you let it stay? Let's go ahead and staccato it. That's staccato for sure. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, and then da, 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 da. Dun, 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 dun. Now, this is a tough one because you don't really want it sustained, but you don't want it really short. And we may not have... Well, you'll see what we'll do. Da, 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 da. So what we can do is we can shorten this. And then we'll play around with velocity. That coming out right? Kind of. Okay. So now we go back and play around with velocity. So, what do we got here? Well, wait. I don't believe velocity messes with legato at all. Don't know why you did that. Okay. Velocity map. Shorts on high velocity. Short sustain split. Sustain dynamics. That's modulation. Okay. Short dynamics. Well, we can actually probably try the staccato overlay because we need that kind of force with it. Right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually drop the sustain here. Then we're going to go all the way back here to the beginning. And we're going to drop sustain here too. Let's see what we can do with just sustain, with some exceptions in this passage. So velocity. How long are you? Do we want da 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 da? Like it. Oh, that's because sustain is on there. Let's try this part. Let's drop it there. Yeah, that doesn't work. That is... should probably remain sustained. Okay, let's try this again here. Da da da. Da 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 da. See, we don't even really need staccato there. Or, I mean, sorry, sustain. Because we can lengthen these. That has to stay. What we do want to do, though, is cut it off. 1, 2, 3, off. Da, 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 da. 1, 2, 3, off. Because they gotta breathe, right? Of course they do. And then this right here can go back to long, long. And yep, that's sustained. So also, are these short enough? Let's see. Yeah, this seems to be short enough. Okay, and then here, I believe we can do... Okay. Now, part of that still sounds a bit muddy, which may be the reverb that I'm using and a whole bunch of other things. But for now, I believe we can do that. But also, we need to check out this modulation. What does this do? Okay, that's actually a bit better. So let's jump that up. Okay. So we're just going to leave that full velocity for now. Also, this is change. It just still does that. Okay. Now we move on to Bravura. And we'll go ahead and mute Bravura. Or mute Trumpet. And let's see. Right. So now we have... Bravura here, and we'll go ahead and add 1911 for breath control. Okay. And that will jump up to full just now. Let's see. See if there's anything I'm missing here. Shorts mode, mute off, shorts dynamic, mouse. Oh yeah, that's right. I have to automate it myself here. All right, I had to pull out my breath controller just to have it learn the dynamic, so that way when I go back to here, it'll actually work. Right, so you can hear that's also a little muddy in some ways. But let's move modulation up as well. So, this is a key switch library. So what is it on now? It is on, little note means legato, C0, C sharp 0, D0. Okay, so we're going to use legato, staccato, tenuto, possibly marcato. Let's start with marcato. E0. Okay, and then we also need to get as much room as we can here. Okay, so that might be a way to start. So marcato to staccato. So that is D0. Where are you, D0? There you are. Go ahead and shorten these. So when I copy them, they're not so long. Okay. So we're going to marcato again. You always want to do it, you know, one note before. Actually, not exactly that note, a little bit after it. Okay. Oh, I wasn't hitting shift. That's my bad. So, is marcato working? Is the question. Maybe? But what about tenuto, which is D sharp 0? Which is a little shorter. And may actually fit with what we were doing on the other one. Okay. And ba 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 ba. So D sharp there too. Now we can actually change. See, that's an overdone part, but probably want that as long as possible. And then staccato. Okay, shorter staccato. And the volume. See. Almost triples it. The shorter you do it, the quieter it gets. And yeah, a little too short. And now a little too loud. Okay. This should remain short, but this has to be legato. And this has to be... what is it? I always forget the key switches. D0, okay. That's why. And this one can be, I guess, a tenuto. No, that actually should be staccato. And then tenuto here. So here it's almost like march-ish, the way those two articulations are here, marching bandish. And that's what we're going to try to hopefully match with the other guy. Okay. And marcato again, E0. That's got to be longer. So that may be just C. They do the same cutoff that we did before. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. That's oddly... Oh, it's a triplet, duh. That was off, like off for some reason. Okay. D sharp 0. D0. No, I'm getting this wrong. C0 should actually be D0. D0. Did I do it right over here? Yep. Okay. And then those are tenuto. So that actually isn't a copy. Okay, it's an E0. Okay. Let my computer catch up here. Okay. And that's obviously a legato at the end. Can't remember if anything changes length. No. So this here... No. Oh, I did do that. Okay. Legato is surprisingly not loud enough. Yep. So now we see they actually work together. This is really hard. I did this with a song called In the Mirror that I nailed pretty well, but you had to basically tweak each part differently depending on the library, and I used both these libraries. What do you sound like? That's not bad. It sounds nice and warm. Sounds pretty brassy. There'll be a lot more mixing and tweaking later on because, as you can see, each library has its own. You know, you have the width, the volume, the different EQs, and different whether it's a classical hall or what is there chamber. You know, different ways of doing that. You'll notice we didn't put much vibrato. I don't like putting any vibrato really in any trumpets unless it's a solo. Or if it's a specific style, obviously. And usually in a sample, there's always some vibrato. It's just barely there. So, again... especially when you have that lip into the legato, it just makes those trumpets sound so good. Now, let's go ahead and take a look real quick at CineBrass Trumpet 2. And we'll go ahead and we'll turn off Bravura and leave one on. So, real quick, we know what we're doing here. So we want 1, 10, 11. Okay, 1, 10, 11. This is where it starts. This is where it gets good. Hopefully, maybe. Who knows? Modulation up. Dummy 1, 10, 11. That was actually that's what we want later, or yeah, that's what we want now. And then this the sustain I just did? Yep. So actually we want sustain off. Okay, so that's long. That's short. Long, short. And then sustain. Da, da, da. I'm trying to remember what we actually did. We do staccato there? Was long staccato? Let's see. No, I think we kept that. And then we did staccato down there. Okay. Yeah. Yep, that sounds pretty good. Then we just fix these staccatos in. Okay, that was a little off. This needs to be moved in more. Come on. Probably won't do anything, but what's going on here? Oh, I got this opposite. God, I hate it when I do that. Okay. That's sustain. That's staccato. Sustain. There we go. Interesting how I still hear staccato there. That's probably because of the staccato overlay. What do we do on there? Short, 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 short. Okay. And then we we did that. Okay. 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 All right. Now we mess around with Bravura. And then when we're done with this, we're done with this episode. This is going to take a few episodes to get through this because you have the French horns, which do completely different things. You have the Cinetrombone, which is different. You know, you got the timpani. This is a pretty exciting area. I mean, as you know, especially when you have this going on. That's it. That is wrong. There it is. See that part, this part right here, it's also going to be strings and probably flutes. We're really going to drive that arpeggiated thing going on there. Bravura 2. Where are you? There you are. And then we'll solo that as well. Okay. It should be a little faster, hopefully. We also need to do dummy 111 or 11111. And we got to go over our Trumpet 2. Remove that. Okay, stop it. We got a handy breath controller here. And then remove the vibrato. And let's see. Let's go ahead and just guesstimate what we did. Staccato is about 15% with volume of like plus 3-ish, I think. I don't think I changed much else except maybe legato, but let's find out. Okay. So, write some more notes in here. Tenuto is D sharp 0. Did we do that? Let's see. Yeah, we definitely did. E0. No, that's not what I wanted. Hold Alt and Shift. There. Did F on accident. Okay. I keep forgetting. D0 is staccato. D sharp 0 is tenuto. D sharp 0. D0. D sharp 0. Okay. And so that actually stayed tenuto, it's like. And there's where the legato comes in. That's obviously tenuto there. Okay, and then the same off on the offbeat. Double check. And tenuto. I believe we go from tenuto to staccato here. And then staccato. What do you sound like all together? Okay. And now we listen to it all together. So we have Bravura Trumpet 2, Cine Trumpet 2, Cine Trumpet 1, Bravura Trumpet 1. Save real quick. Right. And just real quick for fun. So you remember there, if you remember from the Nathan Notates episodes, it goes dun, 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 while the French horns are doing kind of the opposite of that. They're doing dun, 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 dun. So basically, triplets are happening while triplets are happening while long notes are happening up here, and then vice versa. So it's kind of a call and response thing, and it should sound pretty terrific when it's done. So that is it for this episode of Nathan Notates, and next episode, which is tomorrow, we'll be working on the French horns and basically fine-tuning those. And if we have time, probably not, we'll be going into the bones as well. The idea is to get this whole block right here to, decent amount of sound, and then I'll go ahead and toy around with the other things that happen here. Then, as you know from the rest of this, it gets a little simpler in terms of, the programming and the tweaking, but it gets really emotional, and that's when we're actually going to bring in choir there. Most definitely. Something that's been in my head for the longest time on that last part. So, that is it, and thank you very much. Please subscribe to my channel if you like this. I'd like to continue more of these maybe later in the future. It depends how the projects... I'm going to actually try to have projects with these episodes if they let me. You know, some projects are secret, some are not. So please subscribe to my channel, buy all the things down there, and thank you very much for watching, and until the next note.